Hello everyone and welcome back to another TSR track guide. We're hopping over the pond. We're going to Canada this time. It's Montreal, it's the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 3 sectors as usual, but also 3 DRS zones where you can overtake your opponent. A very interesting sequences of corners we have on the circuit, so you can see a lot of chicanes coming up this time, and I would say we don't lose any time, but jump on board with Adiic, who provided this lap. And as you can see, you're coming down this main straight basically, and your best overtaking opportunity. And around here, 80 meters is where you want to brake for the final turn. You can take that a bit more cautious on your outlap, of course, because you don't want to invalidate your time before you even started your lap. Because if you invalidate here, you will have your next lap invalidated as well. So you brake around 80 meters, and you can take that, like I said, a bit more cautious just to try not invalidate. We're coming up to the most famous corner, basically, or the most famous wall, basically, of the entire F1 calendar, which is the Wall of Champions. On the right-hand side, you can see it. So you want to take a lot of curb at the inside. Very easy to cut the corner there. Also there, and now you want to let your car go to the right, but not too much, because otherwise you might hit the Wall of Champions, of course. Opening up the DRS now, and now you can start your lap. So a lot of stuff going on before you even start your lap. And you can see the first corner coming up there so it's a left-hander, and at the end of the tarmac, you could see on the right there, you want to brake for this first corner. So basically just before the wall on the right hand side, you can see that barely, the green wall there. Before that ends, you want to brake. For this left-hander, go down to 3rd gear, clip the apex on the inside, and now shift down to 2nd gear. You can even do it for 1st gear, just for the extra rotation we've seen so many times this season. So quickly up to 3rd, just to avoid, a lot of wheel spin. There is Adiic. Now coming up to the first real chicane, and there's your braking point. You can see that around 70 meters is where you want to brake for this next right-hander. It's a right-left chicane this time, and you have to take a lot of curb. We will even see Adiic clipping the grass on the left-hand side there. So he's taking a lot of curb, close to invalidation there, but making it stick. And now you can see he will definitely clip the grass on the inside, which he does. And now lets his car go to the right. You don't want to hit that wall, and especially in the race, when you have to deal with understeer because your tires are getting worn. You really have to avoid that wall, because wing damage is something you don't want, of course. Now finishing sector 1 and braking at around 100 meters for this next left-hander. You can see that just as the wall starts on the right-hand side, that's where you want to brake or start braking for this left-hander. Very, very tricky traction zone coming up right now. So he's going down to 3rd gear, clipping the apex deck. You could clip it a bit more just to get a bit of extra rotation in, and also go to 2nd gear there. And now for this next right hand, you want to be in 4th gear as soon as possible, and also up to 5th, which Adiic avoids here. So you can see he has a bit of wheel spin there coming out of the corner. But if you are in 5th gear, you can easily manage that. So now opening up the DRS for this next DRS straight, which could be an overtaking opportunity if you spot your exit right and get a bit more traction than your opponent. And now, as soon as you hit the bridge, the shadow of the bridge is where you want to brake for this next right-hander, which is as well a chicane, fast right-left chicane, where the second part is a bit more trickier than the first part, because you can invalidate there easily. As we can see now, he's taking a lot of curb on this side, and now you let your car go a bit straight before you try to turn in, which we can see by Adiic steering here. So he straightened the car and now goes over this curb and bump as well, which you can see. So he's very close to invalidation there, but manages to try to hold it together there. And now coming up to this very interesting part of the circuit, because that's where it matters the most if you want to overtake. So you can see on the track map the DRS zone is coming up on the other side of the track, but yeah, where your gap is looked at is basically here. So if you're close here, you can set up your move into the hairpin where you want to brake at around, like around 100 to 90 meters is where you want to brake for this next for the hairpin. So where you can take 2 lines, you can go very deep and try to maximize your exit, or you can do it like Adiic does here and just try to be as close to the apex as possible and try to get a normal run, what I would call it, and just to try and avoid anything different than just trying to hit the hairpin normally here. So quickly up to 3rd gear, you can even aim for 1st gear in the corner, and now it's basically just a straight, opening up the DRS, and there's your best overtaking opportunity. As you can see, it's the longest straight on this track, and now we will see Adiic at around 80 meters once again, braking for the final turn, but this time you have to be really committed through these 2 corners, this one chicane, and actually Adiic does that fairly nicely. A bit too cautious for my liking, opening up the DRS, and that's 1 lap around Canada. So Adiic also provided the setup, which he used for this hot lap. So that's it from me. I say thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week when we're heading to France.